This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television.
I'm a firm believer that one day humans will be able to live in harmony with nature. But sometimes man oversteps his boundaries and nature has to say, hey bro, don't touch me there. Whenever an animal injures or kills a human, the majority of the time it's either because the human was being an idiot, the animal was just defending itself, or it was just a freak accident. We're going to explore scenarios in all three of these categories with the 5 weirdest animal attacks to happen in recent history. My name is Jason Miller, and you're watching 5 Weird Animal Facts. Number 1. On July 3rd, 2015, 28-year-old Tommy Woodward was enjoying an evening with his lady friend at a marina in Orange County, Texas. It was late at night and Tommy thought to himself, hey, I'm going to show everyone how brave I am and go for a swim. A marina employee pointed out the no swimming alligator signs posted around the dock and told him that there was one gator in particular in the area that was over 10 feet long. At this point, Tommy exclaimed, and this is a direct quote, "F the alligators." He jumped in and almost as soon as he hit the water, a large alligator grabbed him and that was that. This is natural selection at its very finest. I might come off as a bit cold-hearted here, but it's really hard for me to feel bad for this guy. Alligators are territorial and opportunistic predators. It's very rare for even a full-grown American alligator to view a human as a food source, but it's still not unheard of. Bottom line, if you're stupid enough to enter the territory of a 10-foot carnivorous semi-aquatic reptile, there's no one to blame but yourself if you end up getting chomped. Number 2. Some of you may be familiar with Pulitzer Prize-winning editor and journalist Phil Bronstein. Probably not though. On June 10th, 2010, he was on a behind-the-scenes tour at the LA Zoo when he decided that he wants to get a closer look at the Komodo dragon exhibit. The zookeeper giving the tour and Mr. Bronstein were standing next to the 8-foot lizard when the Komodo dragon, named Como, very original, suddenly thought that Mr. Bronstein's foot looked delicious. Como latched onto Bornstein's big toe and caused severe lacerations that tore tendons and went down to the bone, resulting in a serious hospital visit and weeks of antibiotics. Now, the reason that he was barefoot in the Komodo dragon exhibit to begin with is because the zookeepers told him that Como might mistake his white shoes and socks with the white rats that he was fed. This irks me a bit because Komodo dragons rely more on scent than vision when they're hunting. So unless the editor of the San Francisco Chronicle was rubbing meat on his shoes all day, I think that this whole incident just could have been avoided entirely if the zoo just allowed him to keep his shoes on. But hey, that's just my dumb opinion. Number 3. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I f***ing hate game hunting. Ending an animal's life just because you think its carcass would look good above your fireplace and make you feel better about your tiny manhood is something that I consider very immoral. Unless you're hunting something like deer or wild boar and you actually plan on eating what you kill. That's something I approve of entirely because it's not wasteful and a hell of a lot more humane than factory farming. With that knowledge in your brain space, let me introduce you to Wes Perkins of Nome, Alaska. Perkins was hunting with his buddies and tracking a large grizzly bear on snowmobiles. Perkins drove ahead of the group and saw the bear lying in the snow next to a creek. As he began to drive towards it, the bear charged at him and knocked him off his snowmobile, clawing at him and causing serious injuries to his face and mouth. Again, this is just a large predator defending itself from a threat. The bear was shot and killed by the rest of the hunting party, and Perkins was rushed to the hospital. 26 reconstructive surgeries and over $1 million in medical expenses later, Perkins is alive, but permanently disfigured. Respect nature, guys. Number 4. In October of 2010, 63-year-old Robert Boardman was eating lunch with his wife and friends at Olympic National Park. Their meal was interrupted by a mountain goat who approached their picnic table and began to show some signs of aggression. Boardman recognized that this wasn't a friendly visit and told his wife and friends to get back to the car. The animal then charged and repeatedly gored him in the upper thigh region before finally standing guard over him as he bled to death. Onlookers eventually scared away the mountain goat by throwing rocks and yelling, but at this point it was already too late. Park rangers had to unfortunately find and kill the animal. This is the only known case of a death by mountain goat. Although they are fiercely territorial, mountain goats normally keep their distance and pay little attention to humans. This particular individual might have just had some kind of neurological disorder or trauma that caused it to act out so aggressively. Finally, here's number 5. On July 25th, 2011 in Queensland, Australia, 94-year-old Phyllis Johnson was hanging up laundry in her backyard when a red kangaroo suddenly bounded over to her and knocked her to the ground. She attempted to defend herself by knocking the animal over the head with a broom handle, but it continued its assault. She eventually made it back inside with the help of her son and was rushed to the hospital with several deep cuts from the kangaroo's claws. When interviewed about the incident, Mrs. Johnson stated that she had always enjoyed the kangaroos and used to feed them bread, they've always been so gentle. And therein lies the problem. When you repeatedly feed a wild animal, it begins to rely on you as a food source. So when she went outside without any food, the kangaroo probably became frustrated and confused, which led to this incident. I may be completely off, but that seems like the most logical explanation. Still, this encounter is a lot more impressive than the time that I was attacked by a kangaroo.
So, you got my hat. Hey, that's mine. Can I have that back?
Thanks for watching. What's the worst injury that you've ever gotten from an animal? And do you think that it was your fault or the animals? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, let me know what animals and topics you want to see in future episodes. Like and share this video and subscribe to AnimalBytesTV for more awesome animal things and stuff. Check out all my junk on social media if you want to. And until next time, my friends, my name is Jason Miller, and I'll see you next Monday on 5 Weird Animal Facts.
My name is Brian Barczyk. I've been working with exotic animals for over 25 years. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. And that passion often takes me on animal adventures around the world.
This is ABTV.